Welcome to the Mounting Block. I'm Oriel.
And I'm Marissa.
We're here to inspire each other and, of course, you, our listeners, as we navigate the wild ride of rediscovering our love for horses while juggling work, kids, businesses, and a million other things.
From tackling fears to finding time in between school drop-offs, spilt snacks, business meetings, and marriage, we're here to share the laughs, the lessons, and the occasional mishap in the saddle.
So grab a coffee, a wine, maybe even a lead rope if you're game, and join us for honest, uninterrupted conversations, a bit of mum life mayhem, and a whole lot of encouragement.
This is a Mounting Block. Let's get a leg over and join us for the ride.
Hello, we're back. We're back.
And we've had a couple of weeks break because it's been school holidays. Let's just go with that.
Yep.
And I was away.
Lots
and
going
you were
on.
away?
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Lots
And
to update.
You'll notice that we have a third person in the room with us today, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah, the lovely Rebel Morrow.
Oh, Rebel.
And we're going to introduce you in a minute because you've got a really cool... Well, you're actually going to introduce yourself.
Rebel's an Olympian, but not just an Olympian, but an Olympian equestrian. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Equestrian.
Equestrian.
Oh, so much respect. Oh, my gosh.
Although, you know, we spoke at the beginning of our podcast, like right in the first season, about how, you know, when we were doing the pas de deux, and you and I decided, well, we tried it once in a lesson, and at the beginning I was like, this is it. Our Olympic dream is going to happen.
We're going to be doing
it together. And then by about a minute in, I was like, oh, wow.
I'm like there, she's over there. The coach is yelling, "Where are you going?"
The whole sequence dead.
And then she's like, "Why aren't you trotting?" And then she's like, "Why are you going too fast?"
Rick died in that arena.
I remember the very first time I met you though, and I realised that. So I hadn't researched you properly before I realised that you were going to coach me. And then I think Lisa had said something about you being an Olympian. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's scary.
Oh, shit, now I'm scared. I wasn't scared before.
Yeah,
now
I'm
that
first
scared.
lesson.
I was terrified. I wasn't
Did
nervous.
she cry?
I don't usually make a habit of making people cry.
No.
She cries with happiness too.
I did the first couple of protocol days I did. They weren't even proper competitions, but I'd finished my test, or in the case of the first one, I just started my test. Running around
I'm so happy.
the
No.
judges were
Terrified.
I was terrified. And the judges were looking at me, and then at the end when I stopped, I was crying. They're like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just scared."
Didn't you win the bravery award at the first
bravery
protocol?
Oh, that's too cute.
Yeah,
They
it's
felt
very
so
funny.
I was crying.
So speaking of dressage, by the way, we have an update because the last podcast episode we did, you were going off to do a dressage proper comp, your first
My
one.
first ever. Yes.
And I believe Rebel was there.
Yes.
You subbed in for me.
Yes.
You were supposed to be there, right?
Oh,
You
of
owed
course.
me on that day.
Yes.
A call-out fee plus. It was Sunday too. Sunday rates.
Sunday
Yeah.
rates, extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
we're
sorry.
walking up, from I think the cafe or something to the stable to go and get Lainey, and I saw Rebel, and I was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing, Ken? You were there with coaching another girl." Yeah.
And I'm there going, Ariel. Still haven't got it. But I've got your name now.
You
I'm
have,
100% on it now.
Yeah, it's not the Little Mermaid, just a tweak on the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
But you need to update everybody on how it went. Number one,
Well,
cost per wear of outfit has come down.
I was in a hurry when I bought my jacket.
Did it not?
It was a beautiful jacket,
Yeah.
but it was like $600 or $700, which probably isn't a lot.
Really?
But I
Is
was,
that how much jackets cost? I see I haven't bought one in a while.
I was in such a hurry, and I went to Horseland, and I went, "Can I have a jacket? I need your jacket. I've got to get it. I'm riding in the next day or something." And they went, "Yep, here they are." And I picked up the tag, and I went, "Oh, do we have any cheaper?" And she's like, "No, that one's on
That's
sale."
it. Wow,
It's
that's
like-
an expensive dressage.
Yeah. So we're very committed to her cost per wear on her dressage outfit coming down.
coming down.
Coming down.
Yes.
So you did wear the outfit?
So I wore the outfit.
The white joddies.
And I loved it. I had so much fun. The judge didn't love me. I didn't do that well. But then when I went in for my second test, because I'd seen Rebel, and Rebel was like, "I'll give you a few tips," and I'm like, I'm going to rock this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there.
And you
So
said
she's
you
like,
enjoyed your second test more, right?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
yeah.
But I felt more comfortable. And like I think I said on my post, that you'd given me those calming words. And I think just having someone say, okay, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
When I went in there, I was focused on moving faster and well, not faster, but
more forward.
What's the word? I can't remember what you said to me at the time.
More impulsion.
More
activity. More.
Yeah. Because Rebel watched not actually watched, but, sort of eyes on, eyes off my warm up. And she was like, this is what you need to do. And so that made me, and I came off that and I just had so much fun.
Yeah. So good.
I didn't score that well.
It doesn't matter about the score. It's about the fact you did it and you got your horse there, which was an hour away in a new environment.
Yeah.
And you properly competed for the first time. And I think that's awesome. Yeah. And you learnt 2 new tests that you'd never done before. And I think you learnt them like the week before. I was reading it to you and I was like, what? And the A to the E and the
I'd written it twice before I did it. I've written the test twice.
But even for me watching Oriel, or the little bit of advice I gave you before you went in, I could see you do what I had advised you to do.
Yeah.
So that's still a big deal. I mean, I've only taught you once.
Yeah.
I've only taught you once.
Yeah.
And then for you to go in there and still memorize the test, remembering what you've been taught by other instructors, and then I could still see you put in play what I advised you to do. Yeah. So it's a big deal. It's a big atmosphere.
But then not only that, then you filmed it for me.
I did.
You filmed it for me, and people film things for you, and they're always just rubbish filming. And I was looking at your test, not your film, your video. Speak, Oriel, your video, and I was like, well, clearly she knows what she's doing.
I usually critique it as I'm videoing, so you might have missed out on that. I might stay quiet. I didn't know who was going to do it.
Well, it was funny. I was talking to my sister about it, and she said, Oriel, she's an Olympian. Of course she knows how to video a dress up.
I mean, duh.
But what we also did with Rebel, and we are going to talk about you because that's why we have you here, but what we also did...
not your dressage test?
So the next 5 minutes is going to be you unpacking it live.
No, let's not do that.
No,
I don't want to. But the first thing that, well, not the first thing, one of the first things that we said to Rebel when she walked in to the studio today was, can you help us find a horse?
Yeah,
We'll just do a quick update on
We'll do a quick update. So sadly, you guys would be knowing that my lovely horse Hickory was lame, and we've been trying to rehab her, and we had to do some investigations. And sadly, she has had to retire. So she has gone back to the beautiful farm where she came from. She's going to live her life happily as a broodmare and out in gorgeous paddocks with her friends. And as sad as it was, I'm so happy that the right thing for her has come out of it,
I think just having a diagnosis is what, as horse people and owners, like it's a hard thing when your horse isn't right or happy, and when you find that out, then everyone can
That's right. And there was so many things that they're amazing animals in trying to tell us that there's something wrong, and retrospectively you can see the sort of communication she was trying to do to say, hey, I'm not happy, it's been very sad. He has missed his, well, we weren't going to say his girlfriend. They were like frenemies.
That's typical of a mare, though.
And she was a saucy chestnut mare. But at the same time, we managed to get a lovely little pony in for one of my daughters. So we're on a little lease situation at the moment. So he's got a buddy at the moment, little Firefly, who's 18 years old.
Quarter of his size.
She can fit under his stomach. But she's been very cute and shaggy and doing all the things with Lainey to keep him settled until we find him a new friend and me a new friend. So... It's all been a bit, I'm missing it lots. We went to visit a horse this morning, and turns out it wasn't a horse, it was a pony. It was a pony. I looked at it and I said, my saddle won't fit that pony. It'll go onto her rump.
It's a little bit too small.
I said to my friend yesterday, I'm sort of likening this whole looking for a horse like what I would imagine online dating would be. Profile that just says all these wonderful things, and every single horse is absolutely perfect. And then in reality, so I'm just going in with zero expectations and just hoping to be surprised. But anyway, the trek around Southeast Queensland begins again.
Adventures. That's adventures for you.
It is adventures. And it is nice to, I think it's nice to ride different horses again. It's nice to feel like, what different ones it's certainly been, I think Hickory taught me, I was saying to Oriel earlier, she's taught me so much about the type of rider that I want to be, the type of horse that I'm looking for, and what I am willing to sort of compromise on and what I'm not, because she was, an amazing horse, an amazing mare. I've got all that knowledge, so it's all been a really good education.
Yeah, it's not been a waste of time.
Not at all. Okay, so that is our update. So let's talk about you, Rebel. Are you a dressage Olympian? I don't know anything about your Olympic history.
I'm a 3-day eventer. That incorporates the dressage, the cross country, and the show jumping. So I call it the best of all of them because dressage riders just have to do. Not that it's just, not that it's just dressage.
No,
but
my lesson with you was jumping.
It was jumping too. We did the lesson,
and you want to be an eventer.
We didn't actually jump. Anyway, enough about me.
Dressage riders, they have the one horse to compete on.
Yeah.
Show jump riders, like they can have multiple horses, but you can only compete on the one horse. So in show jumping, so we have the one horse that we compete on, but they have to do the 3 phases.
Yeah, right. So same horse across all 3 days. Yeah.
And it's
they have to be good at everything.
And this is like throughout, your career, you get dressage riders saying, eventers, they don't know how to ride dressage. Show jump riders saying, eventers, they don't know how to ride show jumping, which we have to master all 3 of them. Yeah. So when they say that, I just get it. We all get a little bit, as you do. But at the end of the day, we are on this. And the horse that I went to the Olympics on, an ex-race horse that I bought out of my own money back in the day for $300.
No way.
No way.
Yes.
What was his name?
Groover.
$300 Olympic horse.
Yes, and that's the horse that then took me to the Olympics.
And he was with you the whole way through?
Yeah, I got him as a 3-year-old because he had, I think he was 3, maybe 3 or 4. And they had not retired him. He was on a break from racing, so they'd expelled him, and then they were bringing him back in. But they said I could try him because if he comes back in and he doesn't race well, they were just going to literally can him. And that's back in that. So that he would.
It's come a long way since then, but it was.
Yes, there was no rehoming, no
retraining,
all the things that happen now. Yes, so back in that day, because we're talking back in that day of over 20 years ago. Yes, so I only had him for a couple of weeks, and I knew. But this is it. I knew the style of the horse, how classy he was, and I knew, and I even made the comment, which is, again, I didn't know because I was still young. I'd never been to the Olympics. Yeah. But I had this, and I said, if I was ever go to the Olympics, I probably said it just like that. Yeah. It'd be on this horse. So it's just a weird statement because I'd never been to the Olympics, never even sat on a horse that had been to the Olympics, you know what I mean, at that point in life. But literally just before they were coming to pick him up to take him back to see if they could try him again in racing, he started to have all this discharge coming out of his nose, like this bloody yellowy sort of serum. And Groover loved rolling. He was always digging and rolling and loved it. And I was like, shit, he must have hit his head, to cause some sort of trauma at some point. So I said when they arrived, I said, he's just got this coming out of his nose. And I've sort of only just noticed the last week, whatever. I said, oh, cool, righto. They took him straight to the vet. They picked him up from me to take him straight to the vet before they took him home. Yeah. I get a phone call a couple of hours later and they just said, he has ethmoid hematomas. So up in their skull, like that's a big empty cavity. Okay. Yeah. So it was just big blood tumor.
Oh my God.
Growing.
Oh my God.
And they said, look, he's no good in a sense as a racehorse. Yeah. And to go through any extent of operations, we will put him down. Yeah. So obviously I was devastated straight up. I'm like, well, I can't have this happening without, and literally they were literally going to take him to get him put down right at that moment. You know what I mean? Oh. So I've obviously just spoken straight to Mum. I said, I can't have this happen, like blah, blah, blah. And we had at that point an idea of the extent of what it would take to help a horse get out of or, recover from ethmoid hematomas because it's not a thing that will go away. So I've obviously agreed to taking him and they sold him to me for $300, which at the time I remember going, it's a bit steep. Can't you just give me the horse? Obviously that's the price they would have got for him if they, So yes, I was like, can't believe that. And I can remember being that kid anyway, but I'm glad I spent that $300. But from that moment on, my $300 probably ended up costing me about all in all, like he had multiple surgeries on his head because the hematoma ended up going to the other side because first of all they just drilled a hole in his skull, which is sort of the first procedure, and they put formalin in there to see whether it'll kill it off. But then it just crept to the other side, so then they had to literally take a big slot out, open it up, pull it out. And then he got an infection in that side, and then it come to it happened to be redone again. This side opened up because there was still a fragment up there, I guess, and it started growing on this side. And I was living in New South Wales at that time because that's where I'd had a job down there, and I was working for another rider and things like that. And the vet, Nick Canagita, he says that I've made him famous for doing groover and all this sort of stuff. And I said he made me famous for keeping the horse alive.
A great relationship.
Yeah, and it come to him telling me we're going to have to open up the other side. And I just burst into tears and I said, look. So, and I just went, am I being humane keeping him alive?
Yeah.
Because obviously I love the horse. He's amazing. Like we'd already started, competing to a certain level, doing great. And everyone's like, wow, he's a lovely horse. I'm like, yeah.
And it wasn't bothering him?
Not bothering him, no. Because during the surgeries, literally within a couple of days after a surgery, he had to be worked because it would help keep flushing. Draining, sorry. So it was a great spot to have an injury because it just kept draining out. It's not like anything else that put him out of action in a sense. And that's what I just said. And at this point again, because you're young, I've got no idea that, money doesn't just grow on trees. It did in those days, I felt, because, I was young, you could work, I did things for free. Yeah. So it meant nothing, the money that I was spending on him at the vets, which in total, it roughly come up to probably 20 grand in total.
Wow. Which is a lot when you're young.
And it is a lot when I was young, but at that time it just wasn't even a thing. Yeah. So it wasn't about the money that I was stopping it. And then Nick said to me, the vet, which obviously made me get the operation done, he said, look, I've come across so many horses with this thing. Like it's such a common thing too, this. And he said, a lot of horses don't survive the first thing I did, drilling the hole in the head and putting the formula in it. Literally not many survive me opening up the other side because they just hemorrhage. So he says, there's something about this horse that's telling me he's tough, he's a survivor. Yeah. He said, so if that's what we go on, he said, because again, Nick doesn't need the money, and I wasn't bothered about spending the money, so it wasn't in that sense. And I just went, okay. And that was the last operation he ever had to have.
Wow. And how old was he at this point?
When he went to the Olympics, he was only 8 or maybe rising 9, which is extremely young too for a horse of that age. But I guess through all of this, I could keep progressing the horse in his career. Now, and again, at that time, I was young. I didn't know I was progressing his career or mine. Yeah. I had no idea. That's probably my thing in life. Like it wasn't sort of a planned out thing. It just happened.
So tell us about that. How did it just happen? Like how do you go from being a 3-day eventer and doing the comp circuit to the Olympics? And which Olympics was it?
2004 at Athens.
So you then had to fly groover. Yeah. I was thinking it was Sydney. So you got
so Sydney, was the year Athens. Before. Yeah. How it all got, like there's a system. You can't just, win an event and then all of a sudden the event I won, there's all previous events that you have to do to qualify to get a certain standard or merits or whatever they call it now. So I'm so out of the loop of what they do now. Yeah. But you have to go from being on the A squad to the elite squad to the national squad. There's a whole thing, and that all just obviously happened. As it all went along. And like all that happened through my younger times got me to this point. But I guess the big breakthrough happened again. This is out of luck, chance, whatever. I was booked to go to New Zealand for the Trans-Tasman, but as a groom. I was grooming for the lady I worked for. Mm. And so there was already a team of 6 selected, maybe. I can't remember the numbers. Maybe it was 4, not quite sure. So I was booked to go as a groom. And one of the horses pulled up lame maybe the week out.
Oh, wow.
And this is it. It's like I was already booked to go. So obviously I had the qualifications to ride that event. And because Gru was my partner, we had qualified without knowing that we could then, and they literally said, well,
you're coming anyway.
Literally, like that's sort of, and then all of a sudden I was on this team. So this was my first Australian team. I'd been on like young rider teams and I did Western Pleasure before we did eventing. So I'd been on teams, but this was the first as an adult. Yeah. Wow. And I would have potentially been on I would have been on squads because again, they can't pick an unsquatted person, if that's the right way of putting it. But literally, that's sort of, and I did okay over there. I didn't do, because again, I was probably just like a bunny in headlights, literally like, whoa, this is all. And we did.
I wasn't planning on
I wasn't
rising.
planning on it, but from doing that and still going over there and doing well, not winning or anything like that, then it got me to be put on the elite squad.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, you're funded more. Like you're a paid athlete. You're a funded athlete, sorry, yeah. And the horse is a funded athlete. And this is where, like, just talking to like a lady that was hugely involved with me back in that time, like she used to look after Groover, like his soundness and all that sort of stuff. And she just, she reminded, because with me now, how tough I find it to break back into if I was ever to do that level again. And she says, you forget how, every day was micromanaged.
Yeah.
You had, a number of people micromanaging your horse. You had a number of people micromanaging you. You didn't, your business was just you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could concentrate then on just riding well. You didn't have to worry
about everything else.
All the other stuff.
It's interesting. So you and Groover qualify, I guess you qualify on your merits, but then your luck is going to New Zealand and then sort of, I guess, propelling your profile in the sport.
Yes. And probably your desire, right?
Yes, and that's too. That's coming to this. I'm just trying to think of how, I come across young riders now, and they say they want to go to the Olympics and things like that. And I go, I don't know if I ever said that. As a young rider.
At some point, your mind must have shifted to go, wait, this is actually a possibility.
Yes. I can do this.
Yeah.
I said it once about going to the Olympics when I was at school, but not as a horse rider. And obviously still rode well, and because my mother was a professional horse rider, not in eventing, but in Western. So we went to America competing on teams. We did a lot as younger riders, but I never said I was going to go to the Olympics for horse riding. I was going to be a runner. Because I ran,
God.
Yeah, I ran heaps at school. But I ran to a point. I'd win. Then I'd get to the States, and the girls would just run circles around me.
Yeah.
And I guess I did that to a certain point. Then I went, you know what? I just can't run any faster.
Yeah.
And literally on that day, I just stopped running. I said, I can't do any more because I was that overachieving person anyway, but I just wasn't getting the end of it.
Yeah.
So horse riding wasn't. I never went into it because and this is it, I didn't even think of going into it to create a business out of it. It was just my lifestyle, and it's just what I loved.
And it was all your world was.
And it was,
it makes a lot of sense. I can see how that would happen. And did you, when you a 3-day event or when you're eventing at that level, I've got 2 questions. One is, did you have a preferred dressage, show jumping or cross country? And secondly, how high were you jumping? What's the level at that point?
The level at the Olympics is, I think it's only maybe 135.
Only 135.
That's 30 centimetres shorter than me.
Yeah, so that's
that's at a flat out gallop in cross country courses downhill.
All that for the cross country. Yes.
Wait up, that's cross country as well. That's
the cross. Yeah, so show jumping it's would be 130, 135, and same with cross country. Not every jump would be that height, but there will be different elements to the questions of, ABC elements and all that sort of stuff that bring it up to the level of 5-star, I think it's called now.
Yeah.
So 5-star is Olympic level.
Yeah. What I preferred the most as a young person when I did it for a long time is the cross country. I'm more known for my skill in cross country riding.
Okay.
Which is the hardest, isn't it?
Yes.
Look,
it's subjective, isn't it?
And this is the funny part about it. I found the dressage and the show jumping the hardest part. But the cross country, to be an amazing cross country rider, you've got to have the correctness of both those other 2 elements so well. But I guess, it's all influential. Every phase is. But the dressage is what starts the whole thing off, and you're being judged. And this is the thing with you, as you were just saying about, the judges didn't like it. It's hard for you guys to go out and because I get it from obviously all my students, because you're getting, the judge has to judge.
Yep.
Like she still has to do her job, and it can be a little bit off-putting on, I'm doing my best and I'm trying and things like that. So I think that's where the whole psychology behind the dressage can affect people, and I definitely struggled with that, and I struggled with that in the show jumping, because then that's the final, because I'd always go around cross-country clear another time. Yeah. So I was always there.
Yeah. Because you're not being judged in cross-country. It's literally on time and clearing the round, isn't it?
Yeah. You only penalise yourself. No one's there. And in show jumping, you're not being, there's a judge, but, if you're not
it's not jumping equitation. It's just clear rounds.
So, yes, my preferred one is definitely the cross-country. And I mean, it still is, but as I've got older and just learning how to do dressage better, because even though I obviously did great dressage when I was 26, when I went to the Olympics, I'm not as, the understanding that I have and how I ride now is still far what I did 26 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's all an appreciation of it too, the skill and the art of it.
So why did you not continue into the next Olympics? Was it Groover? Was it you didn't have the right horse, or you mentally?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, how did you go in Athens?
I got 11th overall. Wow. I was the highest placed of all the Australians.
Amazing.
Which again, at the time, I was extremely disappointed that I was only 11th,
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I know. But I do,
in the world.
And I do remember.
11th in the world.
I remember sitting with one of the selectors that selected me to be on the team. And he was just, giving me the pep talk of, how well I went. And that was his job to do that too, to say you did a great job. This is your first Olympics and you beat all the others, as in out the rest of my team.
Yeah.
And I said, but actually sitting here knowing how equal, because this is it, going into it, be my first of all of that, and first massive international event too. Because for me to be selected without going out of the country was too a massive deal, because and that's where I copped a lot of flack from other riders, because I had been selected from only competing in Australia to get on the team.
That's how good you were though, right?
Well, look, and this is it. I was, at the end of the day, I was the best combination to be selected. But as I sat in the grandstand talking to Jim Dunn, saying about how I should be proud, and I was. And I said, but I know now how equally competitive I was and up to par with these people. And I didn't know that I was coming into it. I was just happy to be there. Yeah. Happy to be there. It was amazing to be there.
You're in the Olympic Village.
Yes. And then after the fact of it, I sat there and went,
now I want to win.
Yes. Yeah. And if only, but this is the whole thing of it, if only, after my next go, the next time was going to be better.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to GM, I said, what if I don't get a chance to do it again? So 11's awesome. Amazing. Everyone's proud. Everyone what if I don't get to do it again?
Yeah.
And
so you wanted to do it again?
Yeah, no doubt anyone would want to be put in that setting to do it again.
Yeah.
But as it is, unless you have the finances, the backing, the opportunities to buy another horse, have another horse come along, if you've only got the one horse and that one goes unsound, which then 2 years later, different things happened. I missed out on the World Games, which then the two years later, River got an injury in his femur. And this is where business has got a lot to do with success. You knowing how to keep having another horse there or another opportunity in business coming up to keep you. And I just didn't have it.
You didn't have it.
I didn't have that aligned.
It's really humble. It's really humble to say that.
Yeah. And then this is where, the regrets, there's so many errors that I made out of, in the sense of, I just thought, as I said, money grew on trees. I was always going to be talented. I was always going to have a horse. I was always going to have these opportunities.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. All of that, even if you only ever get to do that once in your life, I mean, that's such a small percentage of people that ever get to experience that. And while there's always, I'm sure regret about, not being able to do it again, there's
amazing.
I mean, even the fact you had the mental capacity to get your horse to the other side of the world, settle him, make sure that he was sound, and then get yourself together in a world arena
at 135 centimeters
and collect yourself enough in a stadium like that to be able to ride a horse. I mean, I don't like somebody who's watching me in the arena down the back. It's so mind-blowing to me that there's a capacity of someone's mind to be able to do that. It's just, it's incredible.
I think
really
that's
incredible.
Me being a young athlete and as a young person, as I just told you guys before about my parents, like, you know, I've never had self-doubt put into me or anything growing up that made me ever question what I was doing, you know, which a lot of young people struggle with.
Yeah.
And I never did. And that's where I'm just fortunate. I don't know how it, whether it's just my upbringing or I'm just fortunate, and that's just the positivity in my family, you know. But I understand this now. You'd never miss out on something though, because, you know, as an older person, I've got all those things now. You know, so I don't believe you can have it at one point to then be successful here, or I didn't have it there and now I'm not as successful here. And that's all an acceptance and an understanding of what is this thing, life? You know,
and rolling with it and the resilience. And
I don't ride as much as I used to anymore. Like, I don't compete. Like, and I still do, but not as much as I used to. And I had a shoulder injury a couple of years ago, and I'm not. It put me out for a year. And
From a horse fall?
Yeah, like a couple of bad, like not bad ones. It was weird. It was weird, but it was such a nothing, which caused such a trauma that then I had to have a year off to have it all reconstructed. And I'm definitely not saying it was because of the time off that then put me off it, competing, because I'm not nervous riding now. There was definitely a period when I came back in, like, as normal, you are a bit cautious when the horse trips. I'm like, shit, don't want to fall off, I don't want to hurt my arm again, because that's an ordeal. But that's gone now, and I was told by other professionals that will go, and it did. But sort of it goes. But to be honest, you know, years prior to all that, I was in my own mind still questioning how much do I enjoy competing anymore, you know. So I don't know if I've had that initial, the love that I had for what I did early on, which caused me so much, I was going to say stress and success, caused me so much success because I loved it so much. And when you're doing something that you love and you're passionate about and you just thoroughly enjoy it, I had no pressures. I was just doing what I loved. As soon as it turned into
work,
as soon as it turned into you're an Olympian, there's an expectation. And I don't know how much I felt that from others, but I don't think I was being told to me. But then once you get endorsements, once you get sponsorships, once you get people wanting you to ride your horses, there's all those pressures there, the expectations. And again, the errors that I've made, I had, like, leading into the Olympics, I was micromanaged. I had sports psychologists. They could see that I wasn't handling with whatever different aspects of whatever. So then a sports psychologist was funded to look after me, because that's what they do when you're an athlete, But after the Olympics, and this is where, again, I was told, didn't think anything of it till then. I went, that's what they said. Like, it's after that athletes need the extra help, you know, because all of a sudden you've gone from something that was this big, and then you've forgotten, in a sense, you know, and then it's back on the individual, which it is. I don't know of any other sport, but still in equestrian, you know, you're still a very individual person, because if you don't keep your spot, or if you don't keep up your game, someone else is going to be there. So they're not going to say, hey, Rebel, how you going? Is there anything I can do? Because, you know, if you're not doing all right, they're going to be. And that's the reality of it. So I didn't seek enough help. But that's, you know, that's how some people go quiet. They don't seek help until it's too late and things like that, until you're spiraled out of.
Because you almost don't know you need it. Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's the beauty of hindsight, right? Looking back and going, had I had that additional help, it might have been a different life path, or things might have turned out in a slightly different way.
And running on such a high, and then, I mean, it's just that low after it, isn't it? I mean, I think everybody could think of a situation where you're running towards something and there's a goal in mind, or a peak of whatever it is, and then afterwards you're like,
and what is
life for? What does this all mean?
And when you're in the low, you don't make your best decisions, your best choices and life decisions, and it only takes a couple of those to then spiral in different directions.
So when you ended up realizing or coming to the decision that you weren't going to try, or you not try, but you weren't going to go for another Olympics, what like how difficult was that to then channel those?
It still is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say something. I don't think she's not ever going to go to the Olympics again.
It still
I think there's still hope here. I feel like, look at what's Andrew, old mate.
Oh, no, old mate. Yeah,
Andrew
I know,
Hoy, he's my inspiration.
Jeez,
I think
I hope they don't say that about me. Hey, old mate. Old mate.
I always watch him and I think, hey, there's still time, Marissa. He's like 60s, 70s, isn't he?
You just said you were 48. You've got 20 years.
Maybe I'm 49, actually. I think I just turned 49.
Brisbane Olympics. You don't even have to travel. Rebel needs a horse too.
So while you're looking, they don't suit you.
Yeah, I'll send him your way. Yeah.
I'll look at
Zara can go your way.
You can't have Lainey.
Lainey, I love grey horses. I love riding grey ones. They stand out, People take extra photos of them.
What colour what was Groover?
Chestnut. Chestnut with a big white blade.
So do you have a special horse that you're riding now?
Not really of my own, no. I've got two. I shouldn't say they're not special, but it's just they're not. I guess I know what special is. Yeah, it's funny, and this is where again I was riding this little thoroughbred this morning at Fig Tree Pocket for one of my students, and he's just an ordinary little fella. You know what I mean? Like a lovely little horse, but just an ordinary little fella, and he's just jumping over the little 65 jumps. And just even in that moment, because I rode him a couple of days ago and I was just teaching him how to do it. And then from today, me just hopping straight back on him and just sitting however I did. And then him just willingly doing what we learned 2 days ago. And I just sit there and I was like, this is what I love about still what I do.
Great.
It's just that it's that partnership, just that horse understanding me trusting him.
Remembering him.
Trusting me because that's a big thing of it. And I just have that because it's my instinct of it, I mean, there's plenty of horses that I don't trust when I ride and I have a choice not to do that now. Or I think that but that's where too my expertise can help them out in what they lack.
Yeah.
If they're, and then again, obviously a horse helps me out in whatever lack of talent I have. And that's how
the partnership works. And so do you really enjoy the coaching side of things, or do you enjoy more the training of the horse side of things? Like, is it you and horses or you and people?
Yeah. It changes, hey? Because plenty of people say I'm a people person, and I am, and I get so much out of coaching. You do, but I guess in anything, there's always going to be those certain people.
Yeah.
Which again,
for sure. To humans. Yeah.
Which again,
let's choose the horses. That's my choice.
Me too.
Yeah. They can put that little bit of a dampener on something. But, I have that choice now to say, I don't want to teach you.
Yeah.
I do need the money,
but
I don't want to teach you because I want to keep enjoying
what you do.
I do. So it's not, I don't need to justify myself to you or anything like that, and that's a choice that I can make. Training the horses, I do, like that's one, that little thrill I got out of that little horse. And he jumped over the ditch, whereas 2 days ago he didn't want to, and I come up to him and I said, come on, mate. And he jumped over. I said, good choices, good choice. Just stuff like that.
Trusting you.
And he's trusting me. So, maybe the whole time of training horses without the people involved would be great.
So if you were to find another horse that could take you up those levels again, would you do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing
I did back then I regret or thought I worked hard. Or, was spending too much time with the horses. And because here's the thing with most athletes, like what I did as a horse person, then sort of at any time through your life when, you get a partner and they're not horsey, or, you got to go spend time with friends that aren't horsey, I found that the most awkward time because I was only ever used to being involved in horse stuff. I never had this other life. Going to shopping centres was just weird. Socialising with normal people is weird outside of horses. But I was... To be at any level like that, you just live and breathe it 24/7. And I never worked hard. I, rain, hail, or shine, late nights, early night, whatever. It was never a bother because that's what I did.
It was working hard though.
Yes, 100%. It was working hard.
But you weren't aware that it was
wasn't.
Yeah. So, but now you're aware of what that hard work
and it's not that I'm afraid of hard work that's embedded in me, and that's not a problem. But I just know the extreme discipline of what you got to do to be the winner. And would I do it again?
Just for the hell of it?
Yeah, well, to do it again, I just know how much it takes to get back to what I was, which was just me every day.
Yeah.
And obviously I know I still have the skill, and I know I have it because, just different things riding. It doesn't matter what level I ride any horse, just my instinct of what I do. And I go, even when I teach some people, in a sense, it brings out this extra level of your ability and skill. And I go, yeah. And when I say something, I go, of course I know that, because it's just my instinct of what I would have done. And that's just stuff It's not stuff you can read or whatever. It's just stuff that was embedded in me, and experience, Again, I know I can do it, but everything, the sacrifice of, it's not like I'm sacrificing, but there's so much that you have to do
put into
to be that elite that I was. And if I couldn't do it like I did it, I don't know if I'd be doing it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Whereas just doing what I do now, and again, I'm not saying that's less than what I did, but it's just that comfort zone. Yeah.
Is there a way of rethinking about it? Just interested
I'd have
to know, like, is there a way to look at it from a perspective of you did it that way that time, but now this is your time to do it in a different way?
I don't know.
I'm going to keep your dream alive. There we go. That's what I'm doing.
And look, I have so many.
I can't make it. Can you do it again?
So many people of my supporters and my clients, they would love nothing better to see me, because so many of them knew me at that young age as well. And I guess I don't know whether they see it as wasted potential or whatever. And I know they wouldn't feel that way, but I know they would.
Be proud to see you do that. And we've obviously had
get all that.
A big impact on a lot of people's lives over the years, and imagine there'd be a lot of people reading for you.
Well, do you know what I remember? My sister's girls event, they do the 3-day eventing, and that's what we're going to do, by the way.
I don't know about those ditches in cross country. The ones where you jump and then there's a hill, like a downward hill on the other side.
We're not doing that.
That might be more in the show jumping. There's a special class for that.
I follow Boyd Martin.
You see a lot of you.
I sent you that one, and I said this makes me want to vomit because it's a jump and then a fall down. Is that cross country? Is that? Yeah. See, no.
Yeah, no, you're out. You're out on that one.
I'll do the little logs in the hills.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that.
We're not talking about 5-star.
3-day eventing 5-star.
Do you know you can do? I've found out that you can do a 45-centimetre round.
Yeah,
you don't even have to do 60.
Oh, I'll do that. 45. That's fine, but I'm not doing the ditches.
45. So there
might still be a little ditch in the 45. Just saying. Sorry.
Oh, is that like the one at like Pony Club where it's like the little thing and then
it's just
the little water thing? Yeah. Okay, we can handle that.
Yeah. Well,
I can come coach if you like.
Excellent. I don't have a horse yet, but when we're there, you're on.
When Rebel was coaching me, you probably don't remember this because you coach so many people, but the lesson that we did, I said I wanted to do some jumping with Laney, but I was really scared of him cantering over poles because he jumps over the poles like at a cant. He doesn't canter over them, he jumps over them, and I don't know how to jump, right? Anyway, you said, okay, well, show me, and we did some trotting over the poles, and then you said, okay, come and do a canter over the pole, and I was like, well, I'm not sure I really want to do that because and you're like, just canter over the pole. Like, need to see. Anyway, so he cantered over the pole, and I was like, just see? You see what I mean? And you looked at me and you went, what was wrong with that? And I'm like, that was so fast. Like, it was so fast. And then he jumped it, and you were like, very fast.
and that's I remember this because I have to say it a lot to different people. Like I always said, Oriel, so that is called cantering. And Oriel, so when he canters over the log, that's called cantering over. So this is part of accepting if this is what you want to do. That's cantering over a log. And
I feel like, so this is probably a good segue into fear, right?
Yeah.
Because I think as riders, so you've ridden your whole life, right? And you have continued to ride and exactly what you're saying. I mean, you had your shoulder injury and you had to rebuild from that. And I don't think we come across many riders who haven't had to rebuild from some, injury and the mental, fear, the mental and rebuild confidence, right? So do you find as you get older that you're more aware of it? Has that been a thing for you? Or do you think it's more specific to an injury or a bad fall?
Yeah, I haven't had that as an older person in that sense and whether it changes for women that have had children, like I do know that about some people and I get that sort of stuff. Or, if they've had other injuries and they just don't want that time off. Because I know that that's what. But again, I got over that pretty quick. And I guess I just got over it just because of my make anyway. Yeah. Because even going through, competing at whatever level, whenever – I was always nervous. You have to be because that's still respecting literally what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But you know, and even though and this is where I don't know if everyone's like this, but I can say because that's how it was for me. You know, when I'm walking a cross country course, these are big courses. I don't do it over anything now, but I'll still put that into my teaching. If this happens, a horse could do this or that.
Yeah.
But when I'm walking a high level course, like obviously,
so this is the walk before you're going to jump it.
Yes. So I can, you know, visualize how it's done right, but then I can also visualize, say, three other scenarios of how it could go wrong. Yeah. But that's for me. Yeah. That's not putting any negative spin on me going out. It's obviously already how then I can channel. If that was to happen, then my instinct will be able to pull this back in line just so that this doesn't happen. So I never thought anything of how, and I don't think I ever told anyone that's how my thoughts, would go to me still visualizing how the horse would flip over it or run out at it or trip, whatever. Yeah. But I believe my state of doing that was still to have those scenarios in my head, so then I knew how to avoid
how to fix them and avoid them.
Yeah, interesting. But so that was me then, and I still have that in me now. So I sort of don't know how to answer that question because I'm not scared, and two, it's a thing which I have been through my whole life and career with it. If fate takes me, that's just
fate.
Yeah, and I guess that's where I don't want to, and I don't want to have that injury. I don't. But, you know, I've literally told Mum and Dad, if that ever happens, I just hope it doesn't happen on some shit horse. You know what I mean? You know, because I'd hate to happen on some old shit bag that I shouldn't have been riding anyway. That'd piss everyone off. Yeah. But if it happens, it's just part of what you do, like a race car driver, like anyone in high-intensity sport. Like
it's a dangerous sport.
Yeah, this is a dangerous sport, and it's just part of the acceptance of it. So I never, worried about that, I guess.
So do you rebuild fear? How do you rebuild fear if you are nervous or if you are scared, or how do you tell your students
like
that?
Because you must deal with a lot of students that are scared.
I have a lot of students because of how honest and real I am, but I lose people for that same reason. Yeah. And I let them I tell them the dangers of if they keep doing that, this is what could happen. Yeah. So my job here is to avoid that for you.
Yeah.
So when they jump over a fence and they're like ecstatic, but in my head I'm going, that's good, they've got over that one, but that's only going to last maybe 5 jumps later.
Yeah.
And then that horse is going to do this or that.
Yeah.
And I can't not tell them that.
Yeah. And that's your job as a coach too, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's it. And I say to people when I tell them this, I go, if only I was better at seeing my own life future and decisions I make. If I keep doing that, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I seem to ignore that. But through horses and riding. So, and I guess that's where, you know, some people, because I am so real with that, I'm there with them 100% to tell them. And that's where then they can learn how to overcome that because they can start to think of the scenarios of how to avoid those things. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that goes into the sports psychology and all that sort of stuff. And I've had my time with that, but not from fear.
Yeah.
At all.
Are there other aspects of your life so riding's not one where you necessarily find fear?
I guess. But I guess too, leading as you get older, maybe not so much now, but leading through all that younger time, you know, public speaking was always a difficult thing, but I just said yes to everything that people asked to do public speaking because I didn't like it, but I just did it.
Yeah.
Got invited to do the nude magazine for the Athens Dream, so I said yes and I did it. So as a kid, I didn't even like going swimming because I didn't want to wear swimmers. You know what I mean?
I didn't know there was one.
No, probably isn't in 2026.
They've stopped the magazine. Of course, shame. Every Olympic year, there's a black and white magazine in Sydney, and it would photograph whatever athletes agreed to do it. Yeah. The year 2004, that was the first year equestrian got invited to do it. Got sent out. It's a funny story. We got sent out like an email to all the people that were on the list. And again, I was not due to be selected. This was the year before, but I was on the list to be potential. Yes. And I just read the email and whoever, I was just like, well, I can do this, you know, whatever. Like, no way, laughing at all. Email, whatever, didn't think anything of it. And then I got a phone call from the lady in the EA that was a friend of mine. And she says, oh, Rebel, did you get that email? I said, yeah, we'll be doing that. And then she said, well, a couple of people have put their names forward, but as an organisation, didn't want them to do it. And I said, oh, well, whatever. So they told me who it was. I'm like, oh, fair. Yep. And then she goes, well, we've selected you. I said, have you?
Have you?
Goodness.
You've been selected.
Wow, good for you guys. I'm not doing that. I said, no, that's not my thing. She goes, no, come on, you've really got to because this is the first time. And I said, no. Still, but anyway, so she ended up bullying me, maybe, whatever. And I'm glad I didn't agree to do it, because it was sensational, and it was just, and it's an amazing story, the whole happenings of how it all happened, But I guess, when I didn't want to do it, but then I just sort of went, well, look, if I was ever to go to the Olympics or other things in life, I've just got to do some things that are out of my comfort zone, and that definitely was. But rocked it.
We'll have to go digging through the internet archives and see if we can find that one. That'd be fun.
So there is chance for another career there.
Amazing. And what do you think, I guess, to wrap things up, what do you think about where everything is with equestrians and Olympics and, the way that it's all going at the moment?
Yeah.
Seems to be a lot of tightening of things.
Yeah, there is. And I mean,
better horse welfare. And,
that's always going to, and I mean, look, there's so many new rules now with things, the events, which is blowing my mind too, that they're going up this. What was one? It's such a massive sport over in Europe. I can't see it ever shutting down, even though there was that one moment where they were going to take it out of the Olympics. And I mean, horse cruelty, people being cruel, those things that all happen over the internet was, it's a terrible thing. And I mean, look, it doesn't happen just in our sport, with horse cruelty wherever. Like it's
well, it also probably has happened for a long time. It's just that the access to social media and the platforms to share it can be spread.
And look, I mean, when all that sort of stuff come out and how it is, like, again, I'm not at a position where I'm in a position to worry that it was going to get taken out of the Olympics or this. So I didn't need to be involved in it. I just tried to pacify any of my students that were wanting to have a rant about what was going on, but I don't know really about that, but I'm sure it will go on, because it's an amazing sport, and it's and I say, nearly every day, it's amazing what horses do for us.
They do so much for us.
They're sweet animals, what they do.
Yeah,
they really are. Yeah, they are.
And we love them very much. And we're going to keep a lookout for a horse for you.
Yes, do.
Yeah.
$300 is my budget.
I mean, the bar is set pretty high with that. That's it. Yeah.
Your budget's higher than Rebel.
My budget's a bit higher because I'm realistic and I don't have the contacts Rebel has. And I probably would not be able to handle it off the tracker fresh after a spell. Don't think that's in my wheelhouse.
Well, we'll let you know if we find your horse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your favourite breed?
It is still a thoroughbred. Ridden, warm blood crosses and warm bloods, and they're just not my mate. Like, I grew up on the thoroughbreds and just have that mindset with them and the trust with them, and they're very personable. Like the warm bloods, and everyone's different. Like the warm bloods just didn't seem. I rode this horse to quite a substantial level for somebody else. Still, at the end of the day, I just didn't feel like we could go to the pub and have a beer together.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't sit there and chat to me. Like, just didn't have that. He looked at me. I know that's all a bit weird, but I mean, horse girls would understand.
Because ladies are cunnable.
But you're right. I think that that connection is what it's why there's this weird little chip in our brains that's been implanted that we can't let go of this, like, horse life. It's actually,
wouldn't have it any other way.
There's been moments where we've been like, what the fuck are we doing? We're crazy people doing this. But also, like, oh, there's that little chip going. And you're right, only horse people get it.
Only horse people get it.
Yeah.
I just turned 50 and now I'm going to buy a 17-hand horse.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy. But it's been such an amazing story, and I so appreciate your honesty about it all, and insight. And
thank you.
I'm super keen. I'm going to have a lesson with you when I get a horse, and then
I do swear a little bit. I don't know.
I like swearing.
No, you didn't swear at me. You laughed at me. You didn't swear at me.
I like swearing.
Really.
I need people to swear at me.
I think you were being very gentle with me because I was clearly
you're
terrified.
A nice person. I'll always be gentle with nice.
On that note.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was so good. We will be back next week, won't we? Do we have a guest? We have a guest.
Yes, we do.
We do. We will be back. We're not sure at this moment.
You've just got to work that out.
Just got to check the diary.
Figure it out. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye. Bye.